Hello everybody and welcome to the Sociology and Anthropology of Education course of the Social Sciences Bachelor of the University of Quindío. My name is John Osorio Giraldo. I'm an anthropologist and I have a degree in creative writing, and I will be your professor through this class. We are going to discuss some of the main theories and concepts regarding education studies. We are going to comprehend education as a social complex phenomenon, and we will study some of the theories from sociology and anthropology regarding education studies. So we are going to comprehend and we are going to discuss some of the main theories, concepts and methods for studying systems of education and pedagogies. We are going to explain and comprehend the different phenomena regarding education, contemporary systems of education and historical systems of education as well. So we are going to comprehend education in its political, historical and cultural context. Welcome to this course, and I hope we are going to enjoy this class. First of all, I want we to comprehend education as a social complex phenomenon. This is a historical course about education in its origins. We have to comprehend education has not existed all the time and will not last forever, therefore. So first we are going to discuss some of the concepts that originated in education phenomenon in Europe in the 14th or 15th centuries, and from then we are going to understand education and school systems as systems of social control. Usually when we talk about education, we think it's been always the same, but it has had many changes along history, so it is important for us to comprehend education from a critical point of view. So universities originated in the Middle Age, as you should know, and since then education has been linked to religious phenomena. So education and religion are linked in its origins, and since then systems of education have evolutioned through history. So we're going to see that religion has much to do with educational systems, understand as means of social reproduction and social control, because mainly schools are forms of reproducing social structures and organizations. So as demonstrated by Michel Foucault and Pierre Bourdieu or Paulo Freire and others post-Marxist thinkers, educational systems are control devices designed for the domestication and disciplination of the subordinate classes. Schools were established by all the modern states as an apparatus of power suited for the domination of the population, and they have been used as a way to build national identities and patriotic feelings. Schools were originally controlled by religious institutions and principally by the Catholic Church. In consequence, education started as a consequence or an appendix of social Christian crusades. The relationship between education and social control has to do with the political administration of the populations, and religion education was in charge of religious communities and missionaries. So it is as well a colonial imposition inherited from the Europeans who invaded and conquered this continent of America in the 15th century. Before that, a separated place for teaching and learning didn't exist among the peoples who inhabited this land, or yes, but that has another complex and different universe. I would like to invite you to explore education from a historical, critical and cultural perspective so that we understand this practice in its context as a product of human interest, circumstances, and material conditions. Education has been produced as a concept involved in the construction of modern capitalist society, and we must analyze it in its complete dimensions and meanings. So in this first unit, I would like to introduce some of the core concepts of sociology and anthropology of education. First of all, we have to define education as a social institution that allows societies to transmit knowledge, values, rules. This is a socio-cultural phenomenon or a socio-cultural institution which is present in almost every society. So, if we know education is a socio-cultural institution, we need to comprehend the concept of culture. Why is culture fundamental to understand education phenomenon or education processes in different societies? Because we understand culture as a set of beliefs, practices, traditions, values, social heritage present in almost every society. Culture is the set of values, beliefs, cultural practices, rites shared by a community, shared by a society. So if we understand this, we know education is essentially a cultural and social phenomenon. So in this field is which emerged the education studies. Education studies emerged in the 60s or 70s of the 28th century and are part of the critical studies, of the critical reflections on education. This is a field of reflection on the cultural and social backgrounds of education. So in this course we are going to understand educational systems as forms of social organization for the reproduction of society, for the reproduction of social structures and organization. And we are gonna study some authors like Marx, like Max Weber, or for example Emil Durkheim, who first described education as social institutions which allows, which permits the reproduction of social institutions. So this is part of the main concepts we are going to study along this course, and I hope we will understand some of these theories, and at the end of the course our aim is to analyze the educational phenomena as part of the production of difference, the production of inequity, and other social transactions that education is linked to.